Hey guys, we did it. We're finally in Sweden at the beautiful CrossFit Bifrost, and today I want to talk to you guys about culture and maintaining that culture and protecting that culture. But first, I've got to show you around this place. So this box is actually built in a remodeled barn built in 1902, and it's super warm and friendly and inviting. But what I love the most is what you see when you step out the door. And this is their running track. All right, enough of that. This isn't affiliate porn. We're here to talk about community, protecting your community, building a scalable, thriving community. Now, whenever I ask a box owner, what is your unique selling point? What is the one thing that sets you apart from everybody else? They almost always give me the same answer: community, our culture, our people, the feeling you get when you walk in. And that's awesome. That's the perfect answer. But when I ask them, cool, if that's at the center of what you do, what are you doing to protect that? What are you doing to actively encourage the good cultural behaviors and actively discourage the bad cultural behaviors in your box? Because here's the thing, your culture won't manage yourself. Perhaps when you've got 30 members or 50 or 60 members, it might just work. But as you grow, it's just natural that when any community grows, eventually you're gonna have bad eggs within that community. Eventually you're gonna have cliques form, and those cliques are gonna kind of move away and create their own sub-communities and subcultures. And that's never a good thing for your box. So I have to ask you, if it's so important to you, what are you doing actively to protect it? What are you doing to identify the good parts of your culture and actively push those and systematize those so that you have consistency? And what are you doing to identify the bad parts of your culture, the negative sides of people sometimes? And what are you doing to actively discourage those? Now, I know a lot of people are going to say, but our culture's organic. Well, that's cool. Just a garden is organic, but if you don't tend to that garden, eventually it's going to get out of control. You're going to have weeds. You're not going to end up with what you originally created when you planted that garden. And it's the same with your box. You have to commit as the owner, as the leader. It's your job to do maintenance, to pick out those weeds, to make sure that there's no room for them to grow in the first place. That's your job. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to sit down with your team, get them involved, and I want you to identify what are the 5 main points that make your culture amazing. Then I want you to look at what are the practical expressions of these behaviors. So if the behavior was, I love that people hang out outside the box, the practical expression is maybe your members after the Saturday morning class go and get coffee, something like that. I want you to take those practical expressions and I want you to systematize them and schedule them. Make sure that they're not just gonna happen on a whim, but you're in control, you're managing the community, you're gonna make sure that they happen every single time. Consistency, consistency, consistency. And lastly, we're gonna do the same thing, but to the negative aspects of our culture. So what are the top 5 things that eat away, that are negative, that ruin a class when they happen, the behaviors that you want to stop out? You're going to dot point those behaviors out, then you're going to identify what the practical expression of those behaviors are, and then you're going to come up with standards or rules or whatever it is you need, systems that are going to make sure that that never happens ever again. You're going to make sure that the whole team is built in on this, because it can't just be you as the owner, because you're only there some of the time. You need to make sure that the whole team is involved in this process so that they can all be bought in on this process, so that they can be involved in maintaining these standards. So that's it, guys. That's how easy managing your culture can be. Identifying the behaviors that you want or don't want, working out what the practical expression of those behaviors are, and then coming up with systems or scheduling to make sure that they happen or don't happen. Now, that's the easy part. The hard part is on you as the leader, maintaining this, making sure that you stick to your guns. When you say this is what we're going to do, that's what we're going to do. It's going to involve some awkward conversations, but that's okay, because you know in your heart of hearts, you know that your culture and your community are so strong and so powerful that you'll do anything to protect them, and this is what it takes to protect them. All right, guys, I hope that helps you build a strong and scalable culture within your community. As always, if you've got any questions, drop a comment below. If there's anything specific you want to ask me, feel free to shoot me a message anytime. Always happy to help. I'm going to get back to skipping through the countryside in Sweden, and I'll see you guys very, very soon.